prophet among the believers today. That is the new direction, as we have spoken this morning about the Jew who go to worship in the Lag Omer and worship the dead and pray to the dead rabbis for salvation. But we have also in the body of Mashiach all those so-called teachers who teach falsehood and put people under bondage, as we have seen in the Philippines. And we need to tell them by name, to call them by name, because the body of Mashiach must wake up and see that the only way not to be entangled in false doctrine is to study the Torah. To study the Torah. Yeshua said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free." The truth is the Torah. There is no other truth. So what we have to follow is what is written in the Torah, and not man's-made doctrine. And we see so-called teachers coming in the Philippines from far away, for the prosperity countries, Canada and US and all the country, to tell the people lies, which is not in the Torah. And with this, put the people in the bondage, just to glorify themselves, to sell their own books. Like we have seen, the last example was concerning the Shemitah. The Shemitah, if you look in the Torah, is related only and exclusively to the land of Canaan. If my memory is good, in Vayikra 25, it is written, "When you enter into the land, you shall let the land rest." That is the Shemitah. When you enter into the land, why does Jehovah do not make the people keep the Shemitah in the wilderness? We never heard from Abraham keeping the Shemitah. So, what is that? And now you have people coming in the so-called teacher coming in the Philippines, telling the people that if you don't keep the Shemitah, you are under curse. The curse in the Philippines do not come from keeping the Shemitah. The curse in the Philippines comes from idolatry. Catholicism is idolatry. And we know that in this country, a country which I love really, and we have wonderful people there, a country which is under the control of the Catholic more than 500 years. And they have put the people under the curse with their idolatries. It's not the Shemitah. The Shemitah has nothing to do with the Philippines. The Shemitah is not the center of the world. Like other countries, the heart of the world, according to Yeshua, is Jerusalem. It's not the Philippines, it's not England, it's not France, it's not Germany, it is Jerusalem. And so we have now to raise our voice against all those false teachers and tell the people, beware, you put yourself under bondage because you believe what you don't have studied. Somebody come and tell you a nice story, and then you will fall into the trap. This is what Shaul was warning the Galatians. If anyone come and tell you another gospel than the one I have taught you, let him be accursed. You see, there is only one way. One way is to follow Mashiach. Mashiach is a living Torah. He teaches the Torah, he brings us back to the Torah, not to man's-made doctrine, not to the rabbis, not to Judaism, not to the so-called teachers. He brings us back to the Torah. The Torah is very simple. It is written in plain text, and we can read it and apply it to our life. But today we see that in the assemblies, there is no interest for Torah. There's interest for debate. Debate about the name. Debate which are vain, which bring division in the body of Mashiach instead to bring unity. As far as we know, there is only one body. There is no any head, there is only one head, it's Yeshua. So why division? Why to divide the people for their personal interest? To glorify themselves? No, we need to unify in one mind. And the mind must come from the Torah, not from the so-called teachers, not from the so-called self-appointed leaders. I say it, self-appointed. they have appointed themselves. Because they like the position. They like the praise of man. But this is not what Yeshua said. We need to be servant, but the real servant, and not to make our own business. So this is very poor. Today we see that, and we need to stand against that with boldness, to stand for falsehood, against falsehood, and to proclaim the truth, even if we are rejected. But every time we receive the truth, then we give glory to Elohim. So we have to stand for that. And Jehovah will deal with the false teachers, all those who spread lies in the body of Mashiach, who put people in bondage. So
Tithes.
the tithe is the same. Tithe was more among the Christians. Again, because they're ignorant of the truth. And just pick one verse in the book of Malachi to show that if you don't pay the tithe, you rob Elohim. But they forget to look at the context. They forget to look at the context. The book of Malachi is not about the people. It's about the priest. It's about the priest who were cheating Elohim. And this is how in regard to the book of Nehemiah. If you look at the end of the book of Nehemiah, you will see that the priests were not paying their own tithe. The 10th part of the tithe were not given to Elohim. They were robbing Elohim. So this is the context. And the tithe is only paid first what grows out of the ground. This is textual, literal, in the Torah, written. And it's only in the land of Israel, not everywhere. And it has been to be brought to Jerusalem and eaten by the family of the one who brings the tithe, to rejoice before Elohim. That is written in the book of Devarim, Deuteronomy. So here again we see the business which put people in the bondage. So beware of false teacher.
But there are many missionaries do that.
Yeah, many do that. The problem is that
how is the application that in the Brit Hadasha?
in the Brit Hadasha there is no one single teaching about paying tithe. No one single teaching. Yes, the tithe is mentioned, but not as a teaching. Because at this time, when Yeshua was there, the temple was standing. So the people bring the tithe. And Yeshua said, yeah, you do good because you bring your tithe at the temple. But we never see Shaul or the others speaking and telling to the people, bring the tithe. No. Cheerful givers is not about tithe. It's about giving. Giving for those in needs. And not to bring tithe to the elders or to the pastors like it is required today. That's his business. That's his business. Pure business. And this is the best way to secure income. Because the people are scared that if they don't do that, they will have the trouble with Elohim. So, we must decide what we do. Do we pay tithe and put ourselves in the bondage? Or do we practice tzedekah, which is the giving to the needy and call blessing? That is the difference. Yeah? We are commanded to practice tzedekah. Tzedekah is the giving.
Hebrew word?
Yeah, it's an Hebrew word which means to give alms. Alms to the poor. That's it. Okay. And this is why Paul says, a cheerful givers, Elohim will honor. We love cheerful giver. You see? Because a cheerful giver is the one who gives out of his heart. He gives because he's compassionate with his fellow. You understand? His fellow man, his fellow brother. This is how it is. But not under compulsion. We shouldn't never give under compulsion because...
Compulsion?
Yeah, under pressure. Because somebody comes and says, oh, if you don't give, if you don't pay the tithe, you are under curse. If you don't practice the Shemitah, you are under curse. Which is a lie. It is a big lie. The Torah does not teach that. The Torah does not teach that. If we go and dig into the Torah, we will see that there is no mention of that. No mention. Whether tithe, whether Shemitah or Yovel, all is related to the land of Canaan. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. So it is. Study the Torah, and you will see a real change in your life. Because the Torah is the truth. So since the time of Yeshua, as far as we can read, because here we have the proof, every Shabbat, the Torah, Moshe is read in the assembly every Shabbat. Every Shabbat. People at this time didn't have a Bible, didn't have their own books, they didn't have their own scroll because it was very expensive. So they went to the assembly, they went to the synagogue in order to listen to the Torah, because the Torah was read every Shabbat in the synagogue or in the assembly. And this is what we should do. We should do the same. The assembly is in the house. Many times Charles refers to the assembly in the house. We have it many times. Why we don't do that? When we come together to read the portion of the Torah, which they call parashat, or the parashot plural, which is just a portion of Torah, week after week, first of all, there is two things we can see. If I connect to the reading of the parasha, I connect to the body of Mashiach, because we all read the same parasha in the same Shabbat. We all read all around the world. This means by reading the parasha, I connect to the body of Mashiach. One mind. Studying the Torah. Without knowing it, I am connected to the body of Mashiach. First. Secondly, I will grow. Because the word of life is the Torah. It's not teaching, it's the Torah. The Torah itself. Because the Torah is the truth. The Torah is the word of which comes from heaven, from above, which is the word of Elohim. So when we accept this word, then like Paul says in Romans chapter 12 verse 2, when he said, "Beseech you, brethren, don't be conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind." We can only renew our mind when we put the Torah to remove all the garbage of the world we have heard since our youth. This is how we are transformed. And Shabbat after Shabbat, year after years, we are transformed from glory to glory. This is how we are transformed. We don't need to do anything. We just need to trust Jehovah to have His way in us through His word. His word. Then we will see how Lashon Hara, the bad tongues, disappear. How lies disappear. How love increases in our life. Just by reading the Torah. Just by reading the Torah. This is how it works. Just practice. Practice and you will see. After some years, it will be changing.
Practice and discipline.
Huh?
Practice and discipline.
Yeah, the discipline comes alone. The discipline comes alone. When the inner man is aware of the sanctity which comes from the Torah, then the change will come also. But if I put by side the Torah to go into vain debate, I have no change. No change. You can go to an assembly 15 years later, you will see there is no fruit. Always the same debate. No change. And the people remain babies who are fed on milk and not on the meat of the Torah. This is how it is.